cannot do this with PSN type games. So you know the PSN games are located here in the game folder, and they're usually things like npub, nped, things like that. Okay, like here. You can convert these over to ISO, guys. You have to use first a program called like PSN Liberator. PSN Liberator will convert a PSN type game to a disk type game. So you can convert it to a folder type game like I just showed you. Once you have that folder type disk game, then you can convert it over to ISO. That's probably going to be a different tutorial. So this is only for ISOs that you've found or disk type games that are in folder format like I just showed you. So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you come here to the dev HDD0 directory and that you have this PS3 ISO folder set up. Now mine shows a disk icon because I have a different theme, but yours will probably show a folder. Make sure it's all capital letters, right? And you should have that there. Everything that we do, and this is ultra important, guys, everything we do in terms of testing these files, converting these files should all be done, and I can't stress this enough, should all be done internally. Some of you guys actually are doing all the steps correctly, but the problem is you're trying to convert a file that's located on an external drive, and it seems like everything gets done correctly, and when it's finished it looks fine, right? And then when you play it, you get a black screen, you get freezing or whatever. It doesn't occur to you that if you take that file out, put it in your internal drive, and then convert it, that you will probably have a much higher rate of success. So everything we're doing internal, all right? So keep that in mind. I know it might be a little bit of a hassle to transfer it internally, convert it, test it, and then put it on your external NTFS, but trust me, you're gonna have far less headaches doing it this way. The conversion process works far, far better with far less chances of corruption when everything is done internally. So now that you've made that folder, for those of you who found an ISO file outside somewhere, place that in the internal PS3 ISO folder that I'm showing you here. For those of you that have disk games that are folder type games, all right, you also want to make sure that they're here in the games, all capital letters folder, and that they're located there. Okay, so if you have them externally, transfer the one you want to do internally here to this folder. All right, so those of you who have found the ISO, just wait up on the rest of us. So here what we're going to do is we're going to take a small one. This shouldn't take long because it's a really small game. This is Midway Arcade Classics. Now, we can do this one of two ways. You can highlight the game you want by hitting circle. Copy is already highlighted, so press X. It'll say one entry added. You can actually do multiple entries if you want to convert multiple games. Just keep pressing X on the games you want and then hit circle and then hit copy. Then we're going to come here to PS3 ISO. We're going to hit circle again, and now you see it says paste, but right underneath it, it says paste as ISO, and that's what we're going to pick. If you pick multiple games, then it's going to convert them to ISO. I can't more than one game. That's why it's use this method. You can do multiple ones at once. So we would hit paste ISO. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that now, and I'm going to fast forward through the video.
Terrorists win.
Okay, so here we are back at the XMB, right? So when we look at the Webman games, now those of you who found the ISO and you put it into that PS3 folder, all right, now you're going to go ahead and you're going to kind of join us again. So now everybody will be on the same page. So when you come here to Webman and we go to PS3 games, if you notice, there's my Midway to Arcade Origins. It says HDD games. That's where it's located. But if you notice, my ISO game is not in there, right? So the ISO one you put is not there. This is where prep and TFS is going to come in handy. You don't need to have the hard drive in the game, guys, okay? The external hard drive doesn't need to be in the, not the game, into the PS3. It doesn't need to be plugged in. You can actually do this anytime you want to refresh your games list without having to hit refresh XML and then rebooting and all that nonsense, just come here. Okay, once you've installed prep NTFS, it will be located kind of as a shortcut here. Go to webman setup, and then you're going to scroll down, and it's right there. And just press X. Don't hold it, just press it. Okay, so we're back at the XMB, and it did kind of a soft reboot, right? So it didn't go through that whole control and all that. So now when we go into Webman Games, if we look, see it said 10, now it says 11, and when we come here, there's the Midway Arcade Origin HDD0 games folder, but here is the ISO, and there's that little PNG file. Now you can actually change that PNG. You can go back to that folder, the ISO folder, and change that PNG to whatever you want, and that's so you can make it any image you want as long as it's the correct size and it's PNG. You know, you can make it display whatever you want. You can change it out. Here's origins, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to press X to test and make sure it works. It's going to load. Yes. It's going to say it loaded it. Okay. The icon there. And we're going to go ahead and press X. And there we go. It's starting up and it seems to work just fine. Now, if the ISO you found one online or something and it doesn't launch right, guys, then it may be that it wasn't converted right to begin with in the first place. So what you want to do is you might want to take the ISO file, convert it into a disk, a regular folder file, like a bless or a bless something or other, and then use multiman to convert it, and that may help. Because if it wasn't converted properly, then yeah, you may have problems. As you can see, the game works just fine. Now that we've converted it and we know, or we've confirmed that the game works, now you can go ahead and you can transfer it to your external HDD. Now, to this, you can just, pick NTFS, the NTFS driver, and it should work. But sometimes I find, guys, honestly, that the Iris Man, that's what I use. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to unmount the game. And now I'm going to go into Iris Man. And we're going to use the file manager in our side. I think we may have been cut off there. I'm going to use I'm going to use Iris Man's file manager. So at this point, make sure your NTFS tools is already highlighted, so we're going to press X for file manager. This doesn't work as quick as a PC, so give it some time. It needs to look. Okay, so here we go. I like this split screen thing. It's awesome. So what we're going to do is, notice there it says NTFS. That's my external hard drive. So we're going to go there. We're going to press X. And again, just give it a minute. If you have a lot of stuff on it, it's going to take longer. You should make a folder here called PS3 ISO, all capital letters, right here on the root of your NTFS. Okay, now if you haven't done it already, you can actually do it here. Just go up here to the folder with the 2 dots after it, press circle, and then new folder is right there. Just press X and name it PS3 ISO, all caps. All right, so let's just hit circle to get out of that. Now, I've already done that. And there we go, there's nothing in there. Now, hit the D right, and now you'll be in the Dev HDD0. And we're going to go to that PS3 ISO. And we should have our origin thing in there. So to select multiple files, you select each file with square there. and I'm going to hit square again. And we're going to hit copy. Confirm. I'm going to hit yes. Okay, so now it's done, and I'm going to go ahead. I know that this is working. So I'm going to go ahead, and while I'm on the internal drive side, which is on my right side, I'm going to go ahead and these two highlighted files. So you see they're still highlighted in purple. I'm just going to hit circle, and I'm going to actually do this via FTP. I'm just showing you how to do it in Irisman, but you can do this via FTP. Once you confirm that the ISO is working, just get it out of your PS and put it into a PS3 ISO folder on the root of your NTFS drive. So now that that's done, and we could stay on this side window, or you can move to the other one. It doesn't matter. We're gonna press X. Go up to the folder with the two dots. Press X again, and now when we're here, we're just gonna hit start. We're at the root of our PS3, and then we can go down to Exit File Manager and press X. And now here we're going to hit circle and just quit. We're going to exit back to the XMB. Now here we are back at the XMB. Now once we've done this, if you go to Webman Games, you're going to see that there's no change here. Okay, so there's no change. It's going to show. It's actually going to be looking for the game. See, it doesn't find it because we deleted it. It says HDD0 PS3, but it's not there anymore. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to come back. Oh, my bad. We're going to go into Webman Setup, and we're going to scroll back down to Prep NTFS, press X, and let it do its thing. Alright, and here we are back at the XMB. Now let's go into Webman, and there it shows 11 games. Let's press X, and check it out. Now it says NTFS PS3 ISO, and there's the game. This is the game that's on the external hard drive right now. So let's go ahead and press X. We're going to load it, and then we're going to hit yes, and we are going to launch it. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to skip through all that. And there we go, no problems. And that's how it's done. If you find an ISO online, guys, doesn't work using the method I showed you, it was probably ripped wrong. You can turn it into, like I said, a disk type game folder type deal, like a Bless or a Blues, and then use Multiman to convert it. And once you confirm, once you've converted the ISO and you confirm it's working, you can use any method to get it into the NTFS external drive. Always remember, though, to hit Prep NTFS once your drive is connected, so everything gets updated on the Webman screen. And there we go. There's the game. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully it helped you out. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the video, and here today I'm going to show you how to set up your NTFS to work with Multiman so you could transfer some files. There's been some stuff out there where some of it is outdated.
Help me!
How to do this the right way. Create a USB.png file, which you've probably already seen before, but we're going to show you how to set this up the right way. Stay tuned, because at the end of the video I'm also going to show you some tests that I did against the NTFS transferring files from the drive to the USB compared to transferring them from my PC to the PS3 via FTP. I recorded some times, and I'm going to show you those times. You might be surprised at what I got. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's get started. First, a few provisions. Let's get them out of the way. You need to obviously have a PS3. We're going to use a PC as well, because we need to get some information out of the NTFS drive. You're going to need a PC for that. I'm on Windows 7, so you can follow along with Windows 8, Windows 10. It's probably a way to do this on Mac as well. Just follow along and see, hopefully get the info you need out. The other thing we are going to need is a notepad. Anyone will do, even the built-in one that comes with the PC will work just fine, and that's actually what we're going to use. One big deal, maybe a big deal, is that you can't transfer files in Multiman from the PC to NTFS. As a matter of fact, this is only one directional, meaning that you can only transfer files from your USB NTFS into the PS3. So it only goes in that direction, which, let's face it, that's what most people use it for anyway. So keep in mind that this will not work if you want to copy from your from yes, if you want to do stuff like that, you can use Irisman or Mana Guns, one of those type of game managers that files right out of the box without you having to do anything. And lastly is that NTFS is so not all NTFS drives are guaranteed to work with the PS3. Got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and let's my NTFS and it's right here. It's the go to property. It might be a little bit hard to see. Later on, so you can see this is the exact drive that we're going to hook up to the PS. You can type here in the search bar, device manager.
Hey!
The device manager tab will come up. You could click on it. You can right click here on the My Computer icon or the computer icon, then click on manage, and that will bring you here, and then you can click on device manager right there. So there's a few ways to get to it. Once you're here, we're going to go into disk drives. All right. Deal here.
Watch out! I
show
think
all your
they're still here.
USB devices.
Let's go.
On yours, it might
Let's
say
get the hell
USB
out of
drives or something that's pretty much similar. So just find your highlight it, right click on it, and then go to properties. Then you're going to click on the details tab. Window, and you're going to look
now
for the
what are we
word
going to do?
parent right there. Parent as in like your mom and dad, like this. Parent. Had to do it because, you know, some people just don't understand. Alright, so when you do that, you should get a series of letters, numbers, and all bunch of stuff right here. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and now let's open that program that you're using. Here, as you can see, I'm just using regular Notepad. Now we're going to paste this number right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to type 0 and then small x, and you're going to type these 4 characters right after the X. So these 4. Now these 4 characters could be letters, they could be numbers, whatever these 4 are. They come between the underscore and the ampersand. So these 4 right there are going to go right here. So 0480. Then you're going to do semicolon, which is the 2 dots. When I say 0, I'm talking about the number 0, not the letter O. There's a difference. So you're going to type 0x again, and then you're going to put these 4 digits here, or 4 characters that are here, right after the X. Letters or numbers. So whatever those 4 are.
Hey, I'm going.
Then another semicolon, and the number 1. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete all of this stuff. Okay? And then we're going to delete this.
Look out, they're shooting!
So this moves up to the top like that. And then we're going to go ahead and save this to the desktop. Now I already have one here. Let me go ahead and delete it, because I want to see what you guys, I want to show you what you guys, or you guys what it looks like. All right, so we're going to hit File. We're going to do Save As. We're going to save it as a text file. If you're using Notepad++, it may let you just save this as a .cfg right off the bat. So, but we're going to save it here in Notepad as a text file. You're going to .cfg, all caps, and then hit Save. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and close it out. We can close out of this window too.
Look out! They're shooting!
All right. So we close out.
Look out!
You notice it has a .txt after it.
Oh, crap!
All right, there it is. So now we're going to rename it, and we're going to drop the .txt. So delete the .txt. Now say usb.cfg. All caps. Hit yes here, and that's it. Now this file is going to go into your multi-man folder. FTP it or USB, however you like. When we go here, folder. All right. 608. You're going to go into the USRDIR folder, and that's where you're going to put everything. All the way right here. USB.cfg. And that's where you're going to put that. Go ahead and restart. You need to restart and just hit restart. Now mine says restart MMCM because it's in Cobra mode. Yours will say restart multi-man. Once you've restarted, go ahead and plug in your NTFS drive once you're back at multi-man. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that now on my system. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, so now I've plugged it in, and we're going to go ahead and go back into the file manager. And we can come down here. Alright. TFS driver.
Terrorists win.
Go ahead and do a little like soft reboot type deal. Now when you root, underscore USB, and when you go into it, there we go. And you can see these are all the same things earlier at the start of the video. Now, one of the things that I did find interesting is I made some comparisons real quick here at the early FTP versus my NTFS drive. I transferred the exact same file. So here, this green file is the GTA file. The blue one is the package file. Here is the green one down here is the GTA, and then the blue is the package file. Up here, these two were transferred one at a time, not together, but one by one, to the PS3 from my PC. And this was a 2 gig file, and it took 3 minutes and 6 seconds from my PC to the PS3 at a rate of 12 to 12 seconds. Had this file minutes and 30 seconds. I transferred a 1.5 gig package file, 2 minutes and 7 seconds. 5 gig drive would have taken seconds to transfer via FTP. But when you look at NTFS, they are significantly here, the same exact GTA the PS3 had it been would have taken so it would have been package file from the NTFS to the PS3. So
oh, that's a relief.
1 minute and 40 seconds compared to here or 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Again, multiplying the number 5, it would have given me a file that would have been 7.5 gigs large, and that would have taken 8 minutes and 20 seconds. But up here, the same file via FTP would have taken 11.25. So this whole faster transferring using the USB NTFS. Now, of course, this lies with how fast is your NTFS. So that's the big difference. And how fast is your NTFS drive as well. So yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought it'd be a lot closer than that, and it's not. There's a big difference right here. A 10 gig file, there's a 3.5 minute difference. At least from my setup. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey! Oh, man.
Unknown even to its own employees, its massive profits are generated by military technology, genetic experimentation.
Get down!
And welcome back to another PS3 video. It's Escape through GTA 5, but anyway, this is going to be a tutorial on Multiman with a working disk drive, or any disk at all in the drive, and also running from an external hard drive. So I recommend your hard drive over 5000 RPM. Mine is about 5400, I can't remember the exact figure. So that way it is much faster uploading and it's much more stable. But of course, depending on what you own and stuff will depend on what you use. So you want to go onto the link in the description, you want to click on the image and then download this tool. So this tool, what it allows you to do is make I'll show you for proof. So right click, format. As you can see, you cannot change it to anything exFAT and NTFS, which those two aren't good for when it comes to using multi-man. So you want to open it. So as you can see, here it is. Just click yes. And here it is. So make sure that the drive is the correct one. You don't want to accidentally overwrite any data you have on your Windows copy or Mac, whatever it is. And then don't change the allocation unit size. For some reason it still allocates the full amount, but if it doesn't for some reason, then just feel free to change the number to what you want. You can change the name of your drive. So as you can see, I've just kept mine to what it used to be. Tick quick format if it isn't already, and then click start. So before you do that though, I forgot to say that the formatting any data on the drive. So before you actually start it, just select all of your files on there, right click, cut, and then paste it to your desktop or something temporarily. Then you can put it back when you need to. So once that is done though, you will notice that your drive is now FAT32, and you want to open it. Then this is where you put your games. So you want to right click, new folder, and then make a folder called games, and then all in caps. And if it doesn't work for whatever reason when you load a game or try and load a game on multi-man, you may want to change the S to a Z like that. So for me, the S works. So as you can see, I've already got the folder there. Ignore these two folders. Multi-man adds those two folders automatically to external hard drives when loading games. You won't have them as of yet. So you want to open that games folder, then put any games you have. So one thing to note is, well, I don't care where you get your games, but make sure that you own the game itself already. Otherwise, well, there's piracy. I can't really help that much. I would just back up again, but I can't. So download them. And when it comes to using them, some games, when you download them, if I find it, as you can see with this Modern Warfare 2, so they'll come with lots of RAR files, so it is much more convenient because it is heavily compressed that way. But you want to go to the top, click on the first RAR file, go all the way down to the bottom, hold down shift, and then click on the last RAR file. Then you want to right click on any of the selected files and click extract here. That will make the folders turn out like this. So as you can see, PS3_game, update, and disk. So that way it is usable in multi-man, because of course multi-man cannot recognise WinRAR files. So you want to ensure that the update is there as well. On some games such as Black Ops, for me, it didn't come with it, and it doesn't want to boost at all. So, but all of the other games do have it, as you can see, they all do. So, and when it comes to using the games on multi-man itself, make sure that the folder is named the bless code or plus code, whatever it is. So I find that that works for like all of the games that way. Some games they just don't show on the list if they're not named correctly. I don't know why, but you want to also ensure that when you open that folder, it has direct access to those three different, the two different folders and the file. So then you can just click on here, eject external hard drive, and you want to remove it, and then I'll see you on the PS3 where I'll go over the settings in multi-man. Right, so I'm back on the PS3. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have multi-man installed. So I have one of the latest versions installed, as you can see there. So version 4.70. So once you have plugged in your external hard drive through the USB slot. It doesn't matter which slot you put it into. I put it into the left one, but honestly it doesn't matter. So you then want to open up Multiman, and it may take a while to load. But you want to also ensure that your operating system or custom firmware, whatever you want to call it, has it's like a diskless launcher thing. It's a really weird thing to describe. But so firstly, the games probably won't show up for you, so you want to click refresh at the top. As you can see, it refreshed. And then one thing you'll notice with all of the games, they have USB next to them. That means that it's recognized it's on the external hard drive. So as you can see, I have MW3 there, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops, which doesn't seem to work, Black Ops 2, GTA 5, and MW2. So MW2, you want to press triangle, settings, and then you want to left. So you and then make sure that external is on. That makes Multiman able to recognize that you're running the game off the disk in the disk tray. So if the game needs to be updated, then just press triangle on it, and then game settings, and then update. So this, I'm already on the latest version, but it will then scan through Multiman's database, and then it won't download it from the PlayStation Network from what I know. It will download it from Multiman servers, I think. To launch the game, then update it through PSN, because it does crash it. So if you want to launch the game, so I'm going to launch MW2, so you can either press X, or you can press triangle and then load. I'm just going to press X. As you can see, it will say please wait. For some people, or depending on the game, it may say verifying data. So this means that it's putting some of the data in a separate folder on the external hard drive. And then, as you can see, when I scroll up, it's now changed names for that folder to PlayStation 3. And then it acts just like a disk. So it works perfectly fine. And then what you want to do is load up PSN Ninja, PSN Patch, depending on what sort of stuff you use to make sure that you don't get banned. And then once you've done that, just launch that, and then it's perfectly fine. So I launch PSN Ninja first, and then settings, so white history, replace, read only, clear web browser. I don't know why I do that, but I just feel like it might help. And then click exit, so it does take a while. And I won't show it in the video because of course it shows my console ID. But I go on PSN patch, then press triangle because my PSN console ID isn't banned. So, but you might want to spoof yours or do whatever you want. Then you just launch the game, and that's perfectly fine. Then you can sign in, do whatever you want. So, if you have any questions, then just comment below, and I'll be sure to try and help. And I shall see you in the next one.